Hello and welcome to Therapy Express with Rosanna. Thank you so much for watching. Today I'm going to be talking about M. Night Shyamalan's The Village, which was a film that came out in 2004. I saw that movie in 2004 when it came out, and I thought it was fabulous. But I just rewatched it again and was able to see so much more. Maybe because I'm older and I have a lot more experience in the field of psychology, I'm going to today do a little interpretation of that movie, my own interpretation of what the things in the movie mean to me as I see them. Now, there are going to be spoilers, so if you have not seen The Village, pause the video, go see The Village, and then come back, and then you'll know what I'm talking about. So, the movie starts with a group of people who live in this self-contained little village called Covington Woods. And there are the elders, and then there are the young people that are the kids of the elders. All the people, the elders that live in this community, have come from a very traumatic life. They've all experienced a loss. And they trying to get away from that trauma, they created a wall. They created Covington Woods, which is in essence what people tend to do in real life. When we suffer a great loss or some traumatic event, we create a wall around us so that it cannot be penetrated by any more loss from the outside. But that doesn't work out, as it didn't work out in The Village, and it doesn't work out in real life because we cannot keep trauma out. It is just part of life. Bad things happen. And in this village, they had a character played by Adrian Brody who was sort of the black sheep. And I've talked about the roles that we play in our homes and families. And this particular person played the black sheep. He was sort of mentally ill, and he was appreciated by everybody, but something that he did would eventually cause a ripple effect to go through this village and create something, how should I say, to create a situation where the truth was forced to come out. Now, in this movie, William Hurt plays the father of Ivy Walker, who is blind. But she's not only blind physically, she's also blind literally. I mean, she is blind literally and blind to life and what is going on in that situation. Because the elders are keeping secrets. And in fact, they have a box where all the things of the past are kept, and no one looks in that box. And it's sort of like the secrets that are kept in some families where no one can know about it because they don't want to divulge information that may be hurtful to somebody else, or they're keeping it a secret for whatever reasons. So in this village, and how it happens in certain homes, the outside world is considered those of who we do not speak of. Those are bad people. The outside is bad. In fact, this is what they tell their young people. The outside is bad. Never go out there. And how many parents tell their children that's bad, or people who are different than you are bad. So in The Village, they've actually created monsters to keep the kids manipulated and scared so that they obey. And in some families, that's what is used to manipulate their children. They use fear and they use lies, false narrative to keep them where they want to keep them so that they don't go outside of that. They don't allow questions to be answered or questions to be asked. And so you have to obey whatever it is that your family members are telling you. And if you ask questions, you're put down and said, no, don't ask questions. This is the way it is. and you listened to us. And so this is what was going on in the village until the character of Adrian Brody goes on and commits a violent crime. So even though these groups of people were trying to keep crime away from them, it still infiltrated their now current home. And there is not much that any of us can do to keep everything outside, because life just happens, and we cannot surround ourselves with a wall or a bubble and think that we are going to be safe. There's chaos and there's order, and chaos is always going to be part of our lives. So in this movie, as much as they tried to protect themselves and their kids from the outside, the monsters and everything else, they couldn't do it because it was inside of their own village. So now what to do? Now we've got someone who is injured, who was played by Joaquin Phoenix, and Ivy Walker, who was a daughter of William Hurt. She has to now go and try to find medicine, because of course they have no medicine in this place. So the truth that was hidden for so long finally has to come out, and William Hurt's character finally tells his daughter that the monsters aren't even real. They were created as a way to keep everybody tied down. So she goes to get medicine, and she's got to travel the woods. Of course, she's completely blind, doesn't know anything, but they give her a little bag of rocks, magic rocks. And these rocks are supposed to keep them safe, to keep her and the other two companions who eventually bailed out, but to keep them safe from harm. It was a belief, as long as I have this little bag, I'm safe. So when I was watching this, I was thinking how many beliefs that we have that aren't right, that aren't real, that we just think they are because we put so much attention and they've been passed down from person to person to person. But beliefs must be questioned, because not all beliefs that we get are true. So these little bag of stones were just bag of stones. They were nothing. But in her mind, they were, a little bag of stones that would keep them safe. So she made it to the other side and realized, well, she didn't realize, but on the other side is just a plain ordinary life, an ordinary city. And this Covington Woods was there, bought, so everybody in the village could live as though it were like 1867 or something like that. We must learn to question our belief system. What is real? What is not real? Just because we grow up in an environment doesn't mean that what we're told is true. Maybe it is. Maybe it is true. But maybe it isn't. Maybe it was something that was passed down to them, to your parents or your caretakers, and now they're passing this down to you. And now you're going to pass it down to someone else if you don't just stop and say, wait a minute, is this even true? Because reality may look one way while you're looking at it through your lens, but reality may be completely different if you look at it from someone else's perspective. The elders were vilifying the people from the outside because, of course, they had come from all that trauma and that loss. But in some cases, this is what actual parents do. They vilify people that are different from them just because they speak differently, just because they look differently, they're a different color, they're from a different country, or they have what they consider a low-end job, whatever. They diminish other people, and they teach their children that from the get-go. So the kids grow up thinking, oh, that's real. That's a real thing. Those people aren't good. So we have to be very careful what we teach our children. And in the movie, everybody was scared of the outside, and they had no idea that the outside was just like them. So we have to learn to ask questions. What is real? Make sure that the beliefs that we have aren't holding us hostage, because some of our beliefs are just a bunch of baloney. And all the crimes and all the wars, everything is just based on some belief that people have. Well, I believe that I'm better, so I'm going to take your stuff. I believe that I'm better, so I'm going to kill you. I believe that I'm better, so I'm going to stomp on you. And this is just based on a belief. So question your beliefs. We can't change everybody's beliefs, obviously, but we can start with our own. Ask questions. Is it true? Is that something that I want to continue to believe for the rest of my life? And it may not be something that is even worth carrying for the rest of your life. And truth eventually does come out, just like it did come out in The Village. It came out. But they chose to stay in that encapsulated environment. And some people may choose to do that and stay in that encapsulated environment and think it's safe. But the safest place that we have is our minds if we are open. And no matter where you go, there you are. You can't run away from trauma. You can hide from it. But the only way to conquer it is just to look at it and to work your way out of it so that you can feel better. But you're never going to erase it. No matter where you go, there you are. So that's my little interpretation of The Village. It's a great film. I hope that you saw it before you came back to the video, so I didn't spoil it for you. But even if I did kind of spoil it for you, watch the movie. It's so good, and you'll be able to understand what I'm talking about. And basically, the end all of this video is to let you know, to tell you that just because you've been told something doesn't mean it's true. Question everything and then come up with your own conclusions based on your own research on what you discover, not because someone has been telling you this since you were 3 years old and now you think it's the real thing and you're going to stay stuck on this. All right, you guys, thank you so much for watching. Subscribe, turn on your notifications, and look for me next week. Until then, make every moment count. Bye.